It's interesting to hear Apple talk about Facebook that way, Lindsey, and it really did hit a whole swath of tech companies yesterday.
It really did. And you know what? It is concerning because the tech sector really has been the bellwether for the stock market for the last year plus.
Yeah.
So we're going to be really watching first quarter earnings. This is a sector, though, that I have to remind people, the fundamentals really are intact for the tech sector. In the last 6 quarters, you saw technology sector companies beat earnings estimates by almost 8 percentage points. That's a huge beat. Usually S&P 500 companies, you get 4% beat.
But does this cut into that growth? I mean, does the reason to own these stocks change with a bigger regulatory bite?
I mean, yes, it's definitely going to be a concern, but I do think that when you look at the market overall, you look at the 11 sectors in the S&P 500, it's going to be hard to find growth like you're seeing here. And sure, Amazon and Facebook are huge components of that, but we'll see how that comes out in the first quarter.
By the way, you're still looking at 16% growth in earnings for the first quarter?
18.6%, which actually
is that for the year or for the quarter?
Oh, sorry, that's for the quarter. For the year, the first quarter, we're looking at 16.5%.
Right,
that's
16.5% for the first quarter. Steve, let me ask you about Amazon, because once the president got in place, we were all speculating what would happen with Amazon. I mean, we know how the Washington Post has treated this president throughout his presidency, and so there was speculation that maybe he would want to go after Amazon. And then you look at the size of the company and the number of businesses that Amazon is in, and you do question whether or not it is getting too big. What are your thoughts on the White House? I mean, it's pushing back, by the way, on the Axios report that the president may target Amazon on tax or antitrust grounds. This is what we heard yesterday.
Look, the president has said many times before he's always looking to create a level playing field for all businesses, and this is no different. And he's going to always look at different ways, but there aren't any specific policies on the table at this time.
Steve, your thoughts?
Boy, those words, "at this time," that tells you non-denial, denial. And what you see here is that I think Bezos bought the Washington Post. First, he wanted to do it, but he thought it'd buy political protection in Washington. He didn't realize it was going to make him a target. If the Washington Post had said Donald Trump's the greatest thing since George Washington, I think you'd see a little bit of a different attitude.
Yeah.
But in terms of Amazon, free markets will work in bringing that company down just as it does with any other company over time. I'm old enough to remember GM when that was the big bad company, IBM when that was the big bad company,
and
Microsoft was going to take over the world, Walmart was going to take over the world, now is struggling. So we'll let the free markets play out. What's amazing about Amazon is how successful it's been, because Bezos, by the way, uses teams internally to try to keep this company fresh and on the cutting edge.
And it's hard to compete with a company that doesn't mind losing a lot of money quarter after quarter.
Well, you see, this is another lesson for Wall Street from Amazon. If you set down the terms on which you're going to do your business, people will cut you slack. Just like drug companies. You know, it's going to take 10 or 12 years to bring something to market. Amazon, you know what they're doing, trying to build up volume successfully, but they make enough money to show they're not just losing money. They know how to make money if they want to do it.
Yeah.
Facebook largely, though, I think that maybe you start to get a division in these companies of how people analyze them, because I don't think you can value those earnings with so many question marks about Facebook's future. And I'm not talking about the regulators. I am talking about individuals who finally are waking up to the abuse of their personal information and how for more than a decade Facebook hasn't given a flying flip about really protecting it and really lying to their users about what they were doing with it, and not being upfront about privacy protections. And Tim Cook does have a leg to stand on, because these are the principles that Steve Jobs put in place from very early on at Apple. So I think that you don't know how many users will leave, how much growth will slow at Facebook, how the time spent on the platform might shrink, and how that will ultimately affect the advertising dollars that flow to Facebook. Because Facebook is reining in, like, one thing they're doing, limiting the information they share with data brokers. So I think when you try to come up with a valuation on Facebook at this point, that E in the PE is a very big question mark.
I think there's a huge amount of uncertainty around Facebook at this given time. In the fourth quarter, we saw daily active users start to decline, and the consumer's not dumb.
In this country, yes.
Yeah, and in this country, their biggest market. So expect to see more of that in the first quarter, especially after this.
Although you have to say, Tim Cook could be in his position because he sells product. Facebook is just selling the experience, not a hard product. And Facebook's model is now under threat, and they're going to have to be more of an information site.
Facebook is an advertising
and they don't want to pay up
platform,
for content either. I'm sorry, Dignan.
No, I was going to say Facebook's an advertising platform. I want to pass along, I follow Walt Mossberg on Twitter, and we're actually friends on Facebook. And Walt Mossberg, former Wall Street Journal columnist, he just threw out the idea yesterday of what if Facebook offered a highly personal, ad-free, no data mining subscription service where people use that to share their most personal information. That data, you pay to have it protected, and they don't share any of that information. It's essentially the same way a lot of people use iCloud, that they share information in groups with their family members. He just threw the idea out there.
And that had better be unhackable.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know if anybody's going to want to share anything at this point.
No.
No, but once you're sucked into it, that's what Facebook is betting on. You're sucked into it. This is part of your life. They've conned you into thinking they're doing this to make the communication and your relationships better.
Right.
No, you're
Well,
not.
it certainly saves you
Pick
time.
up the, you know what? Instead of looking at the photos your mother's posting on Facebook, how about picking up the phone and calling her?
Right.